You commonly hear solar panels being called two different names. One is monofacial and the other is bifacial. Bifacial solar panels are usually more money because they are double-sided. They not only collect sunlight that hits the front of it, but it also collects sunlight that reflects off the back. But do the extra gains of having a bifacial solar panel justify the cost? We put these solar panels head to head to see if it actually is worth your investment to buy a bifacial solar panel, or if it's just another gimmick to get you to spend more money. Welcome back to the lab where our opinions cannot be bought. For this test, we decided to hook up one monofacial 415 watt solar panel to one Pecron E3600 that was at 15%. And we did the same thing with a 415 watt bifacial solar panel to the same Pecron E3600 at 15%. The experiment is very simple. Put both of these power stations and solar panels in the exact same spot, getting the exact same sun over the exact same amount of time, and ultimately choose which solar panel is for you in the long run. As always, we'll leave both of these solar panels down in the description, as well as any discount codes that we can get to save you guys some money. But with that being said, let's jump into this video. So what we're gonna see right now is, does having a bifacial solar panel directly in the morning actually make a difference towards a monofacial solar panel? So here we have our solar panel like wattage tester, and we're just gonna plug it into the bifacial right away. As you can see, this is bifacial because you can pretty much like kind of see through it. Whereas if you look at that one right there, it's just black. We're gonna plug this in right here and this in over here. So if you wanna come over here, we can see how much this solar panel is charging. So we're pulling 187 watts. Not that bad. Let's see if we can cover it. If it'll pull different. Yep, check it out of the way, all the way. See, now it's pulling 200 watts directly off the sun. That's perfect. Now we're gonna try the same thing on this monofacial solar panel. Plug this bad boy in. 177.6 watts right now. 183.9. Bifacial solar panel was pulling a little bit more, and to be honest, we were kind of in its sun because it does collect from the bottom and the top, and it was still pulling more than this monofacial. Below us we have the Pecron E3600, and we have two of them, and they are both at 15%. We're gonna plug both these power stations in, and we're gonna see how much solar they produce over the course of a day. So let's plug this bad boy in. So it's charging, and we're pulling right now 87 watts. 126. This one is ready. Now let's go do the other one. Plug this one in, plug it into the solar. So each power station has started at 15%. This one is now pulling 3 watts. 34, 98, 120, 172, 226, 262. So this one right now is pulling 20 to 30 watts more than the monofacial is. So I guess we'll see if that does anything over time. Right now it is 9:39. So we're gonna come back here in a little bit just to see where they're at. Okay, so it is currently 11:15, and we're just gonna see where these solar panels and power stations are. So let's see the monofacial first. Right now we are at 26% with the monofacial solar panel, and we're inputting about 308 watts. Over on the bifacial solar panel, we are at 29%, and we're inputting 340 watts. So as of right now, the bifacial solar panel is in the lead with 3% higher than the monofacial solar panel. We're gonna come back here in a little bit and see where they're at. So it is 1:11, and the sun is still out and almost directly above these solar panels. So we're gonna see what these power stations are charged at. First up is the monofacial solar panel. We'll see here it is at 41%, and it's getting 319 watts from this solar panel. Moving over to the bifacial solar panel, it is at 49%, and it's getting 350 watts of solar. So right now, this bifacial solar panel is winning. So it is currently 3:19 here at the lab, and we're just gonna go check on those solar panels and see how they're holding up. So starting with the monofacial solar panel, if we go down here, we are going to see that we are at 57%, and this monofacial solar panel is pulling 230 watts. Now, when we compare that to the bifacial solar panel, we are at 70%, and it's pulling 228 watts right now. Yeah, now it's pulling 230. So it really does make a difference if you are in this kind of reflecting zone, because it needs to get all the power it can. So now, yeah, now it's pulling 267 watts. Even if this whole solar panel was covered, it would still get power from underneath, say reflecting off the snow or anything like that. So bifacial for the win right now. So right now that bifacial solar panel is way in the lead, but that only really matters if the bifacial solar panel is only a little bit more expensive than the mono. If it is like $200, $300 more, does it really make sense to get a whole bunch of bifacials, or does it make sense just to get a whole bunch of monofacials and save a lot of money? Because it was such an amazing day to test solar panels, there wasn't really that many clouds in the sky and you could see the sun basically the whole time. These power stations got up and charged very quickly. Where a bifacial solar panel actually shines is a little bit later in the day when the sun isn't directly over the solar panel. So it kind of gets that reflection off the ground into the back of the panel here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a heat gun on both of them to get them drained down a little bit, because they are basically full from the day. So I have to bring them back down again to get an accurate reading on the bifacial solar panel versus the monofacial solar panel. That's one, that's two. And we're gonna wait a little bit and deplete them and then come back out here and get an accurate reading. So it is now 5 o'clock. The workday has ended. So I'm just going to pull these heat guns out. The monofacial solar panel is now inputting 104 watts, whereas the bifacial solar panel is now inputting 112 watts. So we'll see how much power goes into both these power stations throughout the next couple of hours. So it has been about 2.5 hours. It is now 7:45. You can see that right there. Let's see if there's any difference between the monofacial and bifacial. If you've been watching this video, you know that there is going to be a difference. So let's see. It says that they are both charging, but they're both not inputting any watts. This one, bifacial solar panel, is inputting 3, 0, 3, 0. And this monofacial one, it's also inputting 0. The bifacial solar panel is at 58%. Monofacial solar panel one is at 41%, as you can see. The bifacial solar panel is pulling 3 watts for a little bit and then just stopping. We're gonna call the test right there. It's not gonna get any sunnier tonight. But one thing I do wanna see is these IR45 racks right here are able to, as you can see my shadow on the back of these solar panels. So maybe they are getting a little bit of extra light. I want to see if the positioning of the solar panel stand is going to make any difference. And it's all hooked up here. So let's just plug it into this same power station. It says in taking a charge of 0 watts. Oh, 3 watts, 3. We got a steady 3 watts here. So there you have it, our test of the monofacial versus bifacial solar panel. In the end, the bifacial solar panel wins in terms of efficiency and honestly just getting more power into your batteries or inverter. So to sum all of this up, if we take the average price of a monofacial 415 watt solar panel, it's about $200. And the average price for a 415 watt bifacial solar panel is $250. So that is a $50 difference between the two solar panels. By 3 p.m., the monofacial solar panel charged its Pecron from 15 all the way up to 57%, while the bifacial panel in the exact same amount of time charged its Pecron up to 70%. So since the Pecron E3600 has a 3072 watt-hour battery, that works out to about 1290 watt-hours stored for the monofacial solar panel, whereas the bifacial solar panel side stored 1690 watt-hours. That is a difference of about 400 watt-hours, or about 30% more from the bifacial solar panel. The bifacial solar panel also just created more energy throughout the whole test. It reached 340 watts at 11 a.m., where the monofacial only reached 304. At 1 p.m., the bifacial solar panel reached about 350, while the monofacial reached 319. And then at 3 p.m., the bifacial solar panel was producing around 240 watts, where the monofacial was only producing 230. So even though the bifacial solar panel cost 25% more against the 250, it actually produced 31% more energy. So that extra $50 makes this very compelling. Now, on a larger scale, I would 100% go with the bifacial if you can afford the extra cost. That is what we run here at the lab. We have the Chico mount and it's amazing, especially in the wintertime. The bifacial solar panels cost 25% more money, but they do produce 31% more power. So the money is justified, but however, if you are cost conscious, I would go for those monofacial solar panels. So let's just throw a number out there. Say you bought 20 of these monofacial solar panels, that would cost you about $4,000. But if you were to buy 20 of the bifacial solar panels, it would cost $5,000. So a $1,000 difference between the two. So instead of spending that extra $1,000 on the bifacial solar panels, you could buy another server rack battery, giving you more capacity for your overall setup, or you could even go buy some better quality panel stands. The bifacial solar panel definitely came out on top today, but whether that extra performance is worth the extra money really depends on your setup and your budget. If you guys want to see more real-world solar tests just like this one, make sure to subscribe to the Solar Lab Plus. And if you're looking for solar panel ground mounts, you can go check our main channel over at the Solar Lab, and they have some videos on those over there. As always, we'll leave links in the description to all of the products we mentioned in this video, including both of the solar panels and the Pecron if you want to go check those out. And of course, discount codes to save you guys some money. That's all we have for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out and stay charged.